This one got the market rocking. Some of these numbers are crazy. T-Mobile delivers best-in-class customer results in 2024 as more people join the Un-carrier than ever before and is poised for another exciting year of growth in 25. Industry-leading customer growth fueled by best network, best value, best experience combination. T-Mobile discussed this on the call very, very heavily.
Here we go.
Postpaid net account additions, 263,000. 1.1 million on the year, both industry best. Nobody else records this in the industry.
Nobody. No, not one. Here we go. Industry leading. What else? Come on.
All right. Postpaid net customer additions of 1.9 million for the quarter, 6.1 million on the year, both industry best. Postpaid phone net customer adds, 903,000 for the quarter, 3.1 million on the year, both industry best. Postpaid phone churn, 0.92 for the quarter, tied for its lowest Q4, and 0.86 on the year, best full year in company history.
That ain't saying much. Companies sucked for decades. Go ahead, Sneed. Go ahead.
High-speed internet net customer additions of 428,000 Q4 and 1.7 million on the year, both industry best. Okay, let's tear this down, B. All right, I'm not going to say too much about the net account additions because they're the only ones that report that. I don't know what AT&T's is. I don't think they report it. I know Verizon doesn't because Verizon has net account losses. So they're not going to want to talk about that.
Nobody cares.
Well, yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I guess if you were asking someone who cares for T-Mobile, they'll comparatively say, well, what did Verizon do in account additions?
I mean, 146 million customers, 568,000 new customers added.
Well, you know
nobody, who really cares how many accounts that breaks down to?
Well, the problem is that Verizon reports wholesale revenues like I think they call them enterprise accounts. So like, Comcast Charter. So like how do we quantify that? That cuz those count. But they don't like on earnings. So it makes it kind of murky. It's hard to discern. The next one is the postpaid net customer additions. And then actually the one I care about cuz everybody reports it. Postpaid phone net customer additions 903,000. Again, industry leading. 903,000 basically means they grew as much as AT&T and Verizon combined. Postpaid phone churn at 0.92 puts them third. Verizon second at 0.89 and AT&T best in industry 0.85. For the year, T-Mobile came in at 0.86. That's their best full year in company history. I mean, what was Verizon's full year? I mean, they were in the upper eights, I think. I mean, they had a quarter where they were like over 0.9. So, just like T-Mobile.
Showed some improvement in the fourth quarter. Pretty good. And third and fourth quarter, I guess.
Yeah.
So they were able to stay below that now. It's good.
Yeah, for Verizon, it was a tale of two halves, right? It was like the first half and then the second half. They were nothing alike. The home broadband continues to be the shining star for AT&T, man. It's just automatic, 400,000 every quarter. 1.7 million on the year. They did have some quarters where I think they only did like 300 some, right? And that's why they only had 1.7 million on the year. Very typically they exceed 2 million. So I guess one thing we could poke at T-Mobile's game is churn rate being a little elevated this quarter compared to the last. And then for the year, high-speed broadband slowed a little bit. What do you want to poke a hole at, B? What do you think deserves some scrutiny out of that first segment?
Churn was worse than the industry. I think that says something because their churn has been elevated for actually the last several quarters. Of course, nobody wants to talk about it because of the growth, which I understand and I acknowledge. But the churn is something that needs to be cared and watched for because it is going up, which I think is a testament to the fact that the other two carriers are competing pretty well, particularly Verizon, because AT&T has been growing for a while now. But Verizon seems to be starting to figure it out. which is a good thing. And that seems to be affecting both AT&T and T-Mobile from a growth standpoint as far as churn is concerned. So, and outside of that, I mean, T-Mobile did what they always do. They grow. I would like to know how many of those lines are free, because we know that they got some freebies in there. We know how they do.
One in three is free.
All right, so that takes away 300,000 of those. So if that's the case, then if that's the case, truly, Sneed, if that's the case, then they're in line with right around in line with everybody else.
I mean, I have to assume it's at least 20 or 25% because not everybody goes to T-Mobile with 3 lines, but a lot of them will.
I mean, if every third line is free, then if you get 6 lines, you only got to pay for 4
customer, right? Per customer. So like, but if a customer goes with 1 line, they're not getting a third line free. They only have 1 line. But so what I'm saying is basically every multiple line account, like every 3 line or more.
So if you get 6 lines, it's not 2 lines free.
It is. What I'm saying is if somebody has 1 line, I leave AT&T and I go to T-Mobile with 1 line. I don't have a free line.
All right, but if you get 6 lines,
then you got 2 free lines.
2 of them are free.
Yeah.
So all right, so let's assume that about 300,000 of those are freebies, and they're not affecting the bottom line. Mm-hmm. All right, so it's pretty much inflating the numbers,
bro. But they don't say it impacts their bottom line. They just count it as ARPA.
It doesn't matter. They count it as a net ad. They count it as an ad.
They do count it as a net ad. Yeah.
So if they count it as a gross and or net ad, then it's empty calories. It's cooking the books, to be honest with you. It's a free line. It's not accretive at all. They're not earning any revenue. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. They can do what they want. So, I mean, that's all I had really, Steve. I mean, got the churn, everything is elevated. They cook the books like they've been doing. It is what it is. Go ahead.
Okay. Service revenues 16.9 billion. So actually, I don't know if that still passes AT&T because AT&T has multiple business segments. Postpaid service revenues of 13.5 billion.
How is that industry leading growth? Service revenues.
Industry leading growth. I think it's by percentage, B.
Okay, well, it doesn't say that. It just says industry leading growth.
That's the only way I can make sense of it because it's not.
I agree because I could have sworn Verizon reported wireless service revenue of like 20 billion.
No, so it was like 30 something.
No, that's cash from operations. Oh, so wireless service revenue was 20 billion.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just trying to figure. Here we go. Everything is industry leading. Everything is best in class. Best in. Oh my God.
EBITDA, core adjusted EBITDA, industry leading growth 7.
How the hell? Okay. Didn't Verizon report like 12 billion? Oh my God,
bro. Because T-Mobile's growing that segment for their business. It's industry leading growth, meaning they grew the most comparatively. The other companies have been doing the big number.
We need to just start seeing all the companies just put industry leading. Just figure out a way to put that in there. Just everybody be industry leading in something. That way we can match the energy.
Adjusted free cash flow of 4.1 billion. Okay, so that makes them third because AT&T reported 4.4 and Verizon reported 5.4. And total cumulative stockholder returns of $31.5 billion. Dividends. The dividend boys are very, very happy. All right. So that's the financials. Did they mention the CapEx? I think the CapEx came in at, well, at least the guide came in at $9.5 billion. We'll talk more about that later. For the third year in a row, T-Mobile won all 5 network experience categories from OpenSignal, 5G performance categories, consistent quality experience, and was unbeaten for reliability. Ookla. Ookla won awards for the fastest, most consistent, most available 5G network, best gaming and mobile video streaming experience from Ookla. The company end-to-end high-capacity 5G network continues to differentiate itself from the competition, translates into real business outcomes. They won the City of New York contract for their public safety network. By the way, it's an exclusive. They're not sharing with anybody. It is T-Mobile all the way in the City of New York.
Don't get in any public safety issues in there. Not in that city.